The other day, I saw how mad you were after. What was going on there, and what were you thinking happened on it?
Yeah, looking back at it, I think, and talking with everybody, it's kind of consensus, just frustration that, it's not even being reviewed for a targeting call. I think that everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a responsibility, and I absolutely love the refs and the work that they put in, but I believe it's their responsibility to keep the players safe. And I was frustrated just because I didn't think that they were doing their part in that degree. Looking back at it, just frustrating. I, as much as anybody else, wants to protect myself. And I understand that, I chose to play football, and it's a violent game, very physical, but just try to protect myself to the nth degree. And when something like that happens, really the past two big ones, the NC State hit and then that one, just direct head-to-head contact, and not much I can do about it, getting hit in the back of the head. So, yeah, I think that's where you saw the frustration come from, is, just understanding that everybody has a responsibility on the field. For me, it's to, lay my life down the line for my brothers and the people beside me, and for them, it's to protect the players on the field.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was it rooted from what happened at NC State, and that's because you were just coming off that concussion and all that?
Yeah, I think it definitely plays a role. That's the probably the biggest concern for me, looking back at it. The first time I've really been knocked unconscious, and really the first season where I've thought a lot about my head and the injuries that can happen to it. So I think it definitely stemmed a little bit from that. First game back, just being a little timid, a little hesitant going into the game, as I think any athlete would in my case. So yeah, I think it definitely stemmed from that a little bit.
What do you remember from the NC State hit?
From not much other than from going back and looking at it. I was knocked unconscious. Don't remember much of the play. The training staff did an incredible job getting out there to me quick and making sure that I was all right. And then, taking the precautions that they needed to after to, get scans and do everything along those lines. But yeah, don't remember too much from the NC State play. Definitely a little scary, but like I said, part of the game, something I signed up for. So.
I guess when you go back and watch it later, do you feel lucky that it wasn't worse than it was?
Yeah, no doubt. I thank God and just His guidance in me. I think looking back, even my freshman year at NC State, the knee injury could have been a lot worse than it was. The neck injury at NC State could have been a lot worse than it was. So definitely very grateful for the outcome of both of those, and that nothing worse happened. And yeah, just thankful.
How hard is it to watch yourself get injured?
Yeah, it's tough. Just going back and looking at it, sometimes you watch other players and you grimace and you think like, oh, what if that was me? How would I feel? But when you're actually watching yourself in that position, it's definitely a little different. It's a different perspective, something that just kind of goes through your head. What if this happens? What if it was a little worse? What will my life be like after I'm done playing ball? So all those questions just, go through your head, and it's something to think about. But yeah, looking back at it, it's definitely a little weird when it is you, on the field getting injured.
I know for us as soccer players, it was always like if you started playing at all afraid of getting hurt, that's like when you really open, because then you were going half in. You weren't, and for us it's all like the leg knee situation. But for you guys, is that similar as well? And how are you handling that mental adjustment of not playing afraid and concerned, but playing smart about what you're doing out there?
Yeah, I think that aspect is in any physical sport. Like you said, soccer, obviously, and football, it's a big deal as well. But it's something that I don't really have to worry about too much. When I cross those lines, I'm gonna give it 110% every time. I understand the implications that come from that and arise from that, but when I get out on that field, knowing that I'm cleared by the training staff, cleared by myself, making sure I feel good when I get out there. I'm gonna lay it down all on the line for the people beside me. But yeah, it's definitely a big mental factor. Just gladly one that I don't have to worry too much about. Thank God.
In terms of protocol and stuff from NC State week to Notre Dame week and Georgia Tech, like what did you have to go through? What do you have to do to get to the point where you could play? Let's talk a bit about it.
Yeah, definitely. So, it was a little difficult for me just because I was dealing with concussion symptoms plus the neck symptoms as well, just some muscular stuff, range of motion. So, just having to get through both of those and kind of just having overlapping symptoms. So that was I think the most difficult part for me was understanding whether a headache was coming from tension issues or it was actually from head issues. But yeah, went through the protocol, did a great job in just communicating and being on the same page as the training staff, but kind of just took it slow at the beginning of Notre Dame week and was going to see where I was at on Tuesday, Wednesday to kind of decide where I was going to be. Ultimately kind of decided that I wasn't going to be able to participate in the Notre Dame game and focused our efforts to get me back for Georgia Tech and was able to get in on Thursday, Friday, even on Saturday morning and go through some of the protocol stuff to make sure that I'd get a head start going into the Georgia Tech week.
Did you have a Q collar on for that game, the Keele kind of product?
I did, yeah. Yeah, so actually, funny story. My brother, who plays lacrosse at the University of Pennsylvania, one of his teammates, his dad is really involved with Q Collar on the business side of things. So he had reached out to my dad, I think last year, and it was something that I didn't really want to do, but just taking into consideration the head injury from NC State, something that I just wanted to try out, and felt really great. I think it's a great product, and if it gives me any sense of protection out there, then I'm willing to try it, and think that it paid off well. Georgia Tech for sure.
You think you'll be wearing it, or?
Yeah, I definitely see myself wearing it, in the foreseeable future, unless it poses any challenges, which it didn't during practice or during the Georgia Tech game. So I think we should be good moving forward.
I think Bo was saying that you tell there was something a little different with you coming back the week of this game, just a little determined. I think Coach Sweeney even said like maybe you were a little mad because people forgot about you. Was there any extra fuel kind of coming into that week and going into this game just because maybe some people forgot what you could do?
Yeah, for me, it's just as a competitor, it's a difficult standpoint for me because, one, I got my best friend out there, rushing for almost 200 yards, absolutely kicking butt and doing his thing, something that he's worked for, side by side with me since we got here. So I was so pumped for him, so happy for him. But as a competitor, anytime I have to just sit on the sideline and watch a game, it kills me because I want to be out there. I know the work that I've put in, and I just want to exemplify that and be able to show that. So, kind of a sour, sweet taste, talking about the Notre Dame game just because Phil did so well, and he stepped into that role, just like I knew that he would, and this program knew that he would. But then also just the competitor in me, wishing that I was out there, just being able to help my team in any way possible.
I mean, I know we've talked to you before, like you maybe put a few bookmarks on social media. Like, did you do any bookmarking or like noting what people were saying?
No, tried to stay off of social media as much as I could, just with the head injury and everything like that. But there's definitely, I think, just a different determination. Anytime you're pulled away from this game, you just realize how much it really means to you and how much you love it. So, just knowing that I was going to be able to get back out there on Saturday against Georgia Tech, drove me a little bit, and just wanted to put everybody back on notice, I think.
What was it like watching Phil's day unfold against Notre Dame?
Oh, it was incredible. I wasn't able to be as heavily involved in his preparation as I would have liked leading up to Notre Dame, just from kind of being taken away through the protocol and everything like that. But got a chance to talk with him Friday night before the game, Saturday right before the game, and I knew what happened was going to happen, just through our discussions, our talks. He was so prepared and ready for that moment, and that's what makes him so special. But yeah, just being on that sideline and seeing everything come to fruition, and him just go out there and just kill it. It brought a smile on my face. As much as I wanted to be out there, if anybody was gonna kind of fill that role and do it in such a great way, I would have not rather had anyone do it but Phil, for sure.
What do you remember your touchdown run, and was there a different feeling again coming back after you've been through and to make a play like that?
Yeah, it was tremendous. I love getting in the end zone, especially in Death Valley. But to kind of knock it off, I forgot who I was joking with, but I think it's the biggest hole that I've ever run through in my football career. Talking Pop Warner, middle school, everything. So huge shout out to those boys up front. They opened it up. Troy Stellato did a great job of covering up the DB, giving me a chance to break it out to the outside, and then I just had to finish the run. But yeah, I was pumped to get in the end zone. Brought a little fire within me, hopefully within the stadium too. Gave us some momentum. So yeah, it was great getting back in the end zone for sure.
What does it mean for you again? You talk about Phil being your best friend, to have both of you guys roll in the same game. What was that like for the two of you guys in the midst of it?
Yeah, it's great. I think Sweeney pulled us together right before the fourth quarter when we started, substituting a little bit, and got Coach Spiller, Coach Davis, me, and Phil together, and was like, y'all two remind me of them two. Just being able to have that 1-2 punch, and you can't just game plan for Phil because I'm gonna show up too, and you can't just game plan for me because Phil's gonna show up as well, right? So it's just a great feeling knowing that we complement each other so well, and we're able to go out there and just wreak havoc.
Has that provided a bit of perspective for you, maybe because we talked about this 1-2 punch way back when we all first got out here in the fall. But given your competitive edge, your want to be that dude, to be the one, has this experience and seeing the Notre Dame game and last week's results, has that given you a bit more of a perspective as you always talk about, you're kind of like fighting that internal demon of like being so intense and being that guy, the benefits of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking with Coach Spiller last night just in terms of, using the past 2 weeks and the rest of the season as a learning opportunity for me. I haven't not started a game since NC State my freshman year, right? So for Coach Spiller to call Phil and I in and say Phil's the guy, going out for Georgia Tech, and me having to, like you said, kind of fight that inner demon, like I want to be out there first, but also understanding that this is such an opportunity for me to grow and for the future experiences that I do have. Just to be able to use this opportunity and to cheer Phil on and to just be side by side with him, with Coach Spiller and just help this offense in any way I can, help this team win in any way that I can as well.
We'll take one more for Will. Let's get the priority to anybody on Zoom. Anybody on Zoom have a question for Will?
Hey, Will. Larry Williams with TigerIllustrated.com. Obviously, you're focused on Saturday and the rest of the season, but just curious if you've given any thought to your future beyond this season. Are you planning on being back next year?
Yeah, great question. I think I've been trying to stay in the present, as much as I can. Especially with just how the season has gone and what Coach Sweeney preaches to us every day, just being in the now. I don't know if you can see my shirt. It's perfect, but I've definitely thought a little bit about it. It's something that is inevitable. Just the opportunities that are there after this season, but haven't put enough thought into it. So I wouldn't be able to give you a great answer right now. But it's definitely something that's going to be weighing on me. But my team deserves my full attention and my full preparation to go out here, win these last 2 regular season games, and then see what comes after that.